What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? My apologies for last week. I totally forgot to mention the week prior that I was going to be off last Friday. Had some good friends come up and visit. They were all vaccinated. We're all vaccinated. So they came up for a night on the Friday night. Hang out, have dinner with friends. Hadn't done it with these friends in a while, so it was good to see them. It was good to see being able to get out, mingle, so to speak. So my apologies if you came around 9 o'clock last Friday, Eastern Standard Time, and I wasn't around. My bad. My total bad. I should have literally from my phone came on like, oh my God, I'm totally sorry. I can't make it tonight. And you're all like, yo, you're supposed to be here today. Just the opposite of what I'm known for. But I'm here tonight. And you're here with me. It's good to see you. Hope everybody had a good 2 weeks since I last saw you. Hope you had a good weekend last weekend. Happy Mother's Day to those that Mother's Day weekend this past. That was great. I got to see my mom, and we went to go see Diane's parents, and we all had dinner at her parents' house with her sisters. So that was nice. Once again, like a whole weekend of just getting together. It's nice. We're all vaccinated, and now hearing the news about the the CDC guidance being altered. I'm still going to wear masks. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to wear masks around large crowds, and we'll see what happens. Because it's only a third of Americans are fully vaccinated. It's only a third. You got to get to at least something like 50% to like herd immunity to start to kick in. So it is what it is. But let's see who's in the room this evening. Good evening there, Mr. Ian Bonner. Nice to see you. Mr. Christopher Hewitt, good to see you as well. Hey, it's the owner of 3 Alarm Comics, Scott Hoverman in the room. Jim Girl 1975, Mad Brothers Media, good to see you as well. Eddie Pozos, good to see you. Danger Girl AC, good to see you. Yes, thank God it is Friday. Dan Bashai, good to see you. It says Grimlock 02886, good to see you as well. Thank you, Mad Brothers Media. We missed you as well. Roski, good to see you. Patty Le Bruyere, would you love to shout out to the female Dante? Okay, I don't know what that means. Do you have facial hair, or you're just not supposed to be here today? Who else we got? Jason Mack 08522. Jennifer Leboon. Good to see you. Hey, hot stuff. Hey now. It's a kid. This is a family show. What else we got here? Ravenish Vampire. Good to see you. Steve Napkins. Amy Tucci. Good to see you. Dan Bashai. Good to see you. Oh, when do we start filming Clerks 3? We've had a 30-day pushback, so now we're starting in July. It was supposed to be June. Now we're July. But it's all good. It's all good. It's better for us, actually. So we're a little pushed back, but that gives me more time as well. So you want me fully in the Dante mood, and I'm going to need all the help I can get. Going to see Amy and Ming's Nest this weekend. Oh, very cool, Scott. Enjoy. And Amy is who? Oh, right, his wife. He's never home. Ming is never home. How does his wife even know it's him? Just kidding. Just kidding. All jokes, people. Anthony Frischetti, good to see you as well. So during that 2 weeks, since I didn't see you guys last weekend, one of the movies I got to see was the new Mortal Kombat. Get over here. I finally got to see it. We're going to discuss that. My guest this evening, previous guest, Mr. Bertrand Wang, will be with us. Not only is he a martial arts movie aficionado, but he practices what he watches. He is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu, a belted jiu-jitsu master. I'm calling him a master. I don't know what the technical term is, but let's just put it this way. He can choke you the fuck out. All right? Just saying. So we're going to be talking about Mortal Kombat with him and other martial arts movies, to be quite honest with you. If you were here for other shows, you remember we had talked about a couple of months ago about anti-Asian violence, and he was my guest because he was an activist when we were in our 20s, and he still is an activist to this day. So, and we've always watched, I've known him since 1983, and so watching movies together as kids and as adults, especially martial arts movies, it's always been fun watching them with him and just busting our asses. And we're going to talk about a whole bunch of others, and not just your typical martial arts. We're going to be doing like Steven Seagal. We're going to bring it all in because there's so many different styles, and Jean-Claude Van Damme. You wonder which ones, who it is, why not, and yes, so we're going to bring in a lot of the
finish him.
Yes, we're going to finish him. We're going to that's right.
Bloody.
That's right. And we even do
round one.
We'll do it in rounds.
Round two.
So and it'll be
excellent.
Yes, it will be excellent indeed. So we'll be doing a lot of that tonight. It'll be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoy the topic. It'll be fun. And I'll give you my little review of the movie. Bert will give you the review of the movie, and we're going to have a good laugh about it. So without further ado, he's one of my oldest and dearest friends. I talk to him pretty much weekly. We text back and forth pretty much daily. And he's always been a grounding force for me, and also a man who's taught me a lot of about it, so many things: race relations, international relations. Just the world was my oyster as a kid, and he was one of the first people to show me what's out there. Let's bring to the show the one, the only, Mr. Bertrand Wang.
Yeah. What's up, Brian?
What's up, sir?
Great to be back, man. It's awesome to be back. Yo, you do me so much honor. I don't know. Your introductions always they're always so, I always feel not unworthy of them, but you're so awesome.
Oh,
thank you.
Stop it, sir. I just don't have enough time in the show to go on with all the titles you are devoted to be put on for. How is LA? What's the weather like out there?
It's not bad. It's still a little chilly here. It's kind of weird. Like probably like low 60s, a little overcast this week, which is unusual for us, as you know.
Little chilly at 60 degrees.
Sorry.
Should.
Yeah, I realized. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
folks, he has a hot tub in his development, and every once in a while, he'll taunt me and my friends who live here on the East Coast when it's like a 40-degree day or rainy. He's like, just chilling in the hot tub, click. And we're like,
Mwah.
go suck an egg. So good. Last time I chatted with you while you were on your phone, a mild 3.5 earthquake
I
happened.
know that was so crazy. I'm sitting there with my daughter. We felt a little Star Trek cam shake, and then
And your dog
yeah,
was getting a little kooky too.
yeah, she was kind of making like, oh, what's going on? And it probably lasted a good second and a half, 2 seconds, of a mild tremor. But then everything went back to normal as it usually does. So I was like, eh.
So there was no follow up later that
Yeah.
night or anything like that, right? Well, that's
Fortunately,
I was
that's
worried there for a
really what you got to
second.
worry
Oh,
about. Yeah, you got to worry
Of course.
that what you feel is the pre-quake. That's the only thing that could be bad.
right. So that's why I just like, I'm going to stay on the phone with you, buddy. Just in
Exactly.
case.
Thank you. Yeah, and like, oh my god.
Because for those who haven't been to LA, a lot of the buildings in LA, they build the parking structures under the residence and then first floor of apartments or condos and second and third. And so, Bert's on the first floor. So below him are cars and then his residence. And so I know for a fact, I was like, yo, shit's going to go. Get out. Because otherwise you're going to be landing in someone's back seat of their car with the second floor on top of you.
Oh yeah. No.
So I brought you on board for this hilariously good, I'd say it was good movie with these cast of characters. Mortal Kombat, the reboot kind of, I guess, of Mortal Kombat. So my question to you, first of all, is how'd you like it?
Oh, I mean, like you, I think it was very enjoyable. A little mindless, and we're not big on the plot, I guess, for this movie, but but in terms of entertainment and Mortal Kombat satisfaction, I think a lot of people would agree that it was satisfying that way, chunkily satisfying.
Yeah. I thought the acting was actually pretty good for what a Mortal Kombat movie would be.
Hmm.
Let me just read real quick the basics scenario here. So from IMDb, it says MMA fighter Cole Young seeks out Earth's greatest champions in order to stand against the enemies of Outworld in a high-stakes battle for the universe. Which is, it's a lot for a video game. Let's be honest.
But let's face it, that lead, I mean, he was kind of unnecessary. I mean, it was really, I mean, no offense, Louis Tan, you my man, and Cole Young, but I don't even know who Cole Young was in the game. And
right.
I mean, it's really what Mortal Kombat is basically like the Sub-Zero and Scorpion show.
Right. So here's their Sub-Zero, which, by the way, the costuming in this I thought was great.
Yes, played by Joe Taslim, awesome, from the original Raid crew. He's also in the Warrior. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And this guy was fantastic.
Oh yeah, spinning blade of death, Hat Man.
Yeah. By the way, that kill I think is the ultimate kill in the whole movie.
That was so hilarious, bro. That was like being at the butcher shop. Being at the butcher shop when the cows come in at the slaughterhouse.
Totally. And the special effects are really good. Like to get this giant 4-armed fighter, what's the character's name? Like Zabul or something like that? Goro.
Yeah.
That's I thought it was really well done. I mean, special effects has obviously jumped incredibly well over the years. So when you see how they put all these characters together, in the backstory, there was some backstory of, back during Nobunaga's reign in the 1890s, Japan, feudal Japan. It was a good backstory between Sub-Zero and Raiden and everybody. And then they brought in this Australian character for, I guess, comic relief. Yeah. And then obviously two American soldiers, the woman and the black guy on it. Jax, right? Who was really, really, I thought it was good in that sense. Like the story was simple. They kept it simple. They didn't get all kooky about it. There were times though where it was, I felt like it was Godzilla versus Kong. Where like, all right, just get to the fighting.
Right? Yes. No. Completely.
There's
Enough plot.
there's the
Enough
other
plot.
half. There's the other half of the title called combat. Let's get to the combat part.
Yeah, we
And
don't
they
really
did it.
care
They
about how it gets there. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
yeah,
true.
and they brought you to different levels of enemies. You had these cast of characters who were pretty sick, and coming in from all sorts of different worlds, being teleported in.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah,
Which I thought
Jax
was
had
a lot.
that had that one really sweet kill where he claps that dude's head off, where he claps it into like it explodes like a melon. It was hilarious.
Well, which is like the video game. That's where in the video game you had all those type of kills. So you had the
It
whole
was a special
Fatality.
exactly.
Splat.
Oh my god! And you know what? And it was funny because I was purposely listening to hearing
Finish him.
all these
Fight.
kind of things, and I think we only had one that was the
Fatality.
and that was it.
That's
That
right.
guy said
That's
it
right.
himself. But that was one thing I would love to have had more. I thought it would have had more of that to it.
Yeah, you're right. But you're right. The special effects have come a long way, bro. I mean, remember the first Mortal Kombat with the Muppet Goro? It had like Robo
Right.
Muppet Goro, exactly like.
So Scott Huffman says Jimmy Olsen became a badass, referring to the actor who played Jimmy Olsen recently, is in this as well. So he played
Who
the main
played Jimmy?
lead.
Louis Tan was Jimmy Olsen.
I believe so.
Oh wow!
Check.
Which Superman is that in?
Let me check if that's.
I only act shocked because Jimmy Olsen is typically a nerd while Louis Tan is incredibly pretty.
He is pretty.
Right?
That man is a pretty boy.
I mean, that's like it's like a super ability.
Well, yeah. Which it was funny because here was a guy who was already married with kids, and I was like, "Oh,
Right.
you're wasting his looks, getting already married."
I know.
Scott, who do you mean in what? Oh, Olsen on Supergirl. Okay, he was Jimmy Olsen on Supergirl.
Oh, he was also. Oh wow. Oh, he's probably the love interest, right? So that's why they're probably gonna make him pretty.
Well, you're not going to waste those good looks, Bert. Come on.
Right.
It was like
Yeah.
a whole bunch of fighting going on, and you wanted some loving.
Yes. And
Yeah, right.
he did kill the shit out of Goro too, though. He did a number on Goro, chopping his hand off and opened him up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they totally did a great job with that fight. Absolutely. So this comes to the topic then in general, because me and you just love martial arts movies in general.
It's true.
I mean, we loved, sitting, anybody who lived in the New York City area, and you had Channel 9 would do the Hong Kong
drive-in movie. Yeah, that's right.
Hong Kong drive-in movie hour, and it would be either Saturday nights or Sunday nights. I couldn't remember which, but I mean, here's the master of all.
Oh, there it is, man. Oh yes, we're not worthy. We're still not worthy, Bruce.
Totally the best martial arts movie.
Yes, the alpha to the omega.
He is totally the alpha to the omega, and I mean, look at that. Look at these two guys.
Oh man,
Bolo,
Bruce and Bolo,
Yeah.
little B&B.
little B&B going on there. That's the kind of B&B you don't want to stay at.
Yeah, totally.
But
Yeah.
overall, I mean, when you look at all the cast of characters from Enter the Dragon, and just so many great films. What are your favorite films when you think of ultimate sit down? I'm going to watch some martial
Wow.
arts.
I'll tell you what. It's funny. Somebody asked this recently, so I was able to think about this a little bit. But top 5 for sure. Of course, you just named it. Number 1 has got to be Enter the Dragon, easily Enter the Dragon, and 2 is, not so ironically, Return of the Dragon, also titled Way of the Dragon. The one where he fights Chuck Norris in the Coliseum. I mean, come on, you can't beat that. And then of course you got movies like the first Once Upon a Time in China, which is a classic. Toy Hark's first Once Upon a Time in China, and then we'll get some other classics going too, like speaking of the old school, Brian, the the Avenging Eagles from the Shaw Brothers days. Avenging Eagles
Oh,
with
wow.
Chi Lung and Fu Sheng. That is one of the best, bro. It's got one of the best lines ever. This is a good place to bury your bodies.
You gotta love even the movies that came out of Hong Kong and the dubbing of them, and then the voiceover, the lines that they translated into English. Some of them were personally, I think they were the ones that started that kind of campy hero one line kind of plot device kind of mechanism in films. Like, yes, now Arnold has "I'll be back" and things like that. But I gotta say, like, a lot of that type of dialogue was kind of that Hong Kong martial art movie perfection.
You're right. Yeah, right. Yeah, I think
Because
you're right. And those the pre-duel banter.
right there, you didn't have Jimmy Cagney or any of those guys giving the one-liners of like blah 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 blah. Yeah, they had like suave one-liners, but they didn't have that kind of like badass, like like you said, like, this is a good place for us to bury your body. And so, like, it's stuff like that I always enjoyed watching the martial arts movies.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Plus,
what about you, man? What are your favorites?
Oh, I mean, you're naming them for me. Plus, I mean, you got to love the Jackie Chan movies only because everybody's like, he's actually falling 3 stories.
Right.
He's actually smashing through the car window. Yeah. Like, he was the guy who everybody's like, this motherfucker's crazy.
He is straight crazy. And just watching the end of his movies was the best. Like, seeing all the outtakes of all those knocks they takes, you like, oh my God.
We would always love Burt Reynolds when he started the whole let's show the bloopers at the end of the trailers of Cannonball Run and like, that was always fun and hilarious. But Jackie Chan took it to a whole new level. Oh, you want to see some bloopers? Let me show you some bloopers where I crack my back into 20 places.
Yeah, here's where I put a hole in my skull.
Yeah. And then that's the other thing, like the women he trains with. You know what I mean? Like, that everybody he works with in his studios, they're all fucking badasses.
Right. As you can imagine, trust is real big. You know what I mean? You want to have don't want to have anybody swinging kicks or poles or whatever the weapon of the day is at you.
Right. Like, especially with Jackie Chan, especially the bloopers. You see him, like, if there was a blooper and he actually hits someone, like a woman or something, and you see him immediately go, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Exactly. And they hold him like, or there was one time they show, I forget after what movie it was, where he immediately picked up the co-star and like ran them off because they kind of really got hurt. Yep. And it's that type of thing where it's like, oh man. And he had the best technique. Let's shoot the whole film without any sound. We'll just ADR it post and just have everybody come in and do their lines ADR. It's fine. Just imagine, like, the lack of having to worry about getting a line right. Don't worry about it. Your mouth moves.
Yeah, and he made everyone. He kind of like upped the ante for film in general. I think because I think everyone realized, like, oh shit, we got to do our own stunts now. You can't have the guy with the wig and the mustache who doesn't look like you at all, jumping across stuff anymore.
I always liked catching the dude in a dress, the dude being a woman, which is like, oh my God, her shoulders went from feminine type shoulders to like this in the dress. There's some scene in American movies that you see that.
Right, like the scene in Spaceballs where they catch, you idiots, you caught their stunt doubles.
The other thing too is the studios are seeing that athletes who can act, martial artists who can act. I mean, when the resurgence of martial arts movies, I think, came to a really nice head with Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Yeah. I think that's where people are like, oh shit, it was kind of Matrix-like, yes, there was trick photography for the most part, but that was just to give you the 3D surround shot that eventually the Matrix then utilized and a few others. Right, that's what I'm saying. So the Matrix and the Wachowskis saw that, my world, we're gonna do less, everybody gets killed with guns, and more like, there's a martial arts to this. The famous scene where Neo comes out of being jacked up and learning, goes, I know Kung Fu. If it only was that easy, people. If it
I
only
know,
was
right?
that
You
easy.
just had to jack it into your brain, and they're like, okay, yeah.
I know kung fu.
But
And
just remember,
then
folks, there's no substitute for hard work in martial arts at all.
you get your ass handed to you all the time when
Oh
working
yes,
out.
all the time, man.
You're
And
always
that's what's
texting
awesome.
me
It's
like, "Had
humbling.
a great
Yeah,
workout. I'm fucking tired as fuck, but it was great."
right. Yeah, no, totally. It's funny,
So
but it's the only place I
Ryan,
can fight cops and legally.
so Ryan goes, Jackie Chan is our generation's Charlie Chaplin. He does it all. Such an amazingly talented person. It's true. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, it's been read in the trade papers, like the Hollywood Reporter and stuff, that he doesn't want to do any kind of action movies anymore. He seriously is only entertaining actual acting
Hmm.
roles, nothing that has to do with
Hmm.
action. And
Well,
I assume that 60% of that decision is, he's an older gentleman now, and
right,
he just put his body through it.
totally.
And B, he actually has devoted time to the craft and learning how to convey
Hmm.
a story.
Hmm.
If we, as the audience, can get Action Jackson, Charlie Chan out of our minds, and what's the movie with Tucker? Um,
Oh, Rush Hour.
Rush Hour. If you can get Rush Hour out of your
Oh my
minds,
God, yeah,
like
right.
and forget him for that, and actually give him a chance to be something else. Like he has a new
Mhm.
movie coming out where he's another mass. It's an action movie, but he's not doing all the action. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
and
Yeah, no, he does
Joe
everything,
Ridge,
like you said. He director, actor, producer. I mean, he sings. He
absolutely,
literally does everything. Yeah.
yeah. And so Joe Ridgely, producer of End of the Night, has put up. Don't forget Brandon Lee's early demise. Yes, obviously Bruce Lee's son, Brandon,
Yeah.
most famously known for The Crow,
Hmm.
unfortunately died while shooting the second one.
Yeah.
Um, it's sad to see what that potential would have
Oh
been.
man, that movie was gonna blow him right up, right? I mean, that would have about
I
to
mean,
launch him into like, yeah,
right. First of all, the pedigree, like,
yes,
you're coming from the god of all martial artists. You're the
I know,
son
really,
of the.
yeah,
Like, you are the Jesus. If Bruce Lee is God, then you are the Jesus. You are the son of God.
right, of
Uh,
martial, yeah, yeah,
and so to see that so sadly taken away from us,
hmm
it's terrible because he had so much potential
he
to
really did,
do a lot.
yeah,
But so many people have come in, and the craft of martial arts, especially martial arts in movies, doesn't have to be a martial arts movie, but the craft and the appreciation from the fans of having martial arts in the movie has always been kind of like cool. Like you saw it in The Matrix. You're seeing it more and more these days in like John Wick and
yeah,
other films like that. That the art of martial arts is becoming, I believe, more and more like a desired and acceptable.
hmm
Like, that
hmm
guy's not doing a Jedi mind trick. It's martial arts,
yeah,
which,
yeah,
to be honest with you, even people who learn how to do Jedi fighting and stuff like that, a lot of it comes from a martial arts technique of
hmm
sword play and like
hmm
that.
But yeah, on the modern film front, you're right. The John Wick movies, they're the same action guys who also did Atomic Blonde, which also has fantastic action sequences. I mean,
Yep.
they do those super old school like long takes. They train the shit out of their actors, and I mean, you have to do the moves. You know what I mean? That's it. Even Halle Berry in one of the John Wick movies, like you could see how much training she had with like guns and like throwing people around and doing. I mean, she was in it, and you could tell she was getting sweaty prepping for the movie.
Yeah, and Ryan says he was heard as Mr. Miyagi. Yeah, when he talking about Jackie Chan again. Um,
Hmm.
so definitely, and the artists, the actual athlete actors who are growing in this field, are getting the roles, are
Yeah,
totally getting the roles, and they should,
yeah.
because there's less special effects needed if someone has the acrobatic talent to pull off moves of looking like I'm about to punch you in the
Exactly.
face.
Exactly.
Um, Now, granted, going back to the new Mortal Kombat, there's a lot of special effects with the kills, but in a
Oh
good
yeah.
sense. I'm not going to spoil it, And I watched it. It's on HBO Max for those who are wondering where it's at right now. It is in theaters, I believe, in some theaters, actual theaters. But if you go to HBO Max, and it's a fun ride. Like I said, it's a fun ride. The comedy from the Australian character was funny. You know, the dopey kind of chauvinistic kind of white guy kind of humor was
Right, frat
was
boy, yeah, basically, yeah.
very frat boy kind of. But a lot of the characters they worked out well. I can see where a sequel could easily be built upon this. They left it in a way, you know, with rate and everything that, you know, this can continue. And I think these actors could carry, you know, one or two more of these.
Oh, absolutely. Looks like they made enough money. I mean, it seems to be doing well enough, and it seems to be well enough received, and for them to kind of move forward. And like I said, you know, satisfying enough kills. Like the guys who thought of those kills, they must have been laughing their asses off thinking about that. Okay, we're gonna have
right. I'm just gonna say like two words: buzzsaw kill. That's all I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yes.
What the whole movie was worth it just for that kill.
Just for that.
Where I was. Scott Hoverman says, if you love campy martial arts movies, give a Sukiyaki Western Django a shot. Have you heard of this one?
I don't know. I've never heard of that one. But you know, that's good. I have to check that out. Thank you. But a couple other esoteric ones. I asked you this a while ago in text, in chat. I don't know if I can answer. Have you ever heard of this one called the Legend of Ricky O?
Yes.
That
very
is
good.
One of the most hilarious practical special effects displays of all time. Like I actually think that's where they got the one of the kill scenes from Mortal Kombat. The Jax kill scene in Mortal Kombat, I think, was inspired from Ricky O, because there's a scene where the guy does exactly that, but it's hilarious. I mean, it's like a melon. They just like, you know, put a melon in the in some guy's, like, a dummy's head, and like plow.
Well, that was like Scanners. Scanners was that kind of like it explodes.
Like
head exploding deaths are always fun. That decompressions in space.
Oh yes, what was that? Outland with with Sean Connery. Oh yes,
I saw that during the lockdown of last year. It was on Showtime or HBO or something like that, and I literally hadn't seen it since it came out. And so I sat down. I was like, "Ooh, Outland! It's Sean Connery as a badass space cop, you know, with a shotgun, no less. Like not even like just a shotgun. I'm like, yeah, shotguns in space are cool.
Right.
I forgot a bunch of different aspects of it. Like the actress who was in Driving Miss Daisy was in it. Jessica Tandy. Was in it as the medic person who was on the space station. Like different actors who was on. Of course, the great oh God, everybody loves Raymond. He was the dad, and he was also in
Peter Boyle.
Peter Boyle is
right. He's in it. Yeah.
Another one in it. And like I was like, wow, what a great movie that was. And it was simple. It was nothing too complicated. It was like, you know, it was corruption on a space station. And,
exactly.
And how people were getting killed because they didn't want the corruption to be found out, and how they would be, you know. So the kills there were kind of fun too.
Yeah, they were like people, decompressing heads and stuff. But yeah, it was. I remember it was about like they were dealing drugs on board like a worker station or something like that in space, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right. So Sukiyaki Western Django is a movie that was brought over by Tarantino. It is in English, but only one actor actually speaks English. So Scott gave you the update. So it's a movie that you know, Tarantino.
It's old though, I guess. Okay, gotcha.
Is a big fan of Asian cinema, like we are. Here we go. What do we got? CJ Robles, Amazon Prime, Robo Vampire, action-packed martial art, sci-fi horror ninja flick.
Wow,
now,
I trust all the bases.
And I trust CJ's opinion, so that's something I got to look for. Robo Vampire, everybody.
Okay, right. Robo Vampires.
I'm going to put that in my queue. Speaking of which, I'm watching. You said it to me the other day, Yasuki. I'm watching that animated series. Once again, takes place during the Tokugawa age in Japan, and African American guy brought
Historically
to
accurate. Yes.
historically accurate, based on some historical facts here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
who helped out the Shogun and stuff like that. It's really good. So there's 6 episodes. It's just season 1, I believe, is out right now. So I'm up to episode 2. So far, so good. A lot of exposition in the first episode, but that's to be expected.
Right. Another good movie from that era is the old Shogun Assassin, the Lone Wolf and Cub movies. Those movies are awesome, and that is you're guaranteed not to get more arterial spray in any movie because those movies like clang clang clang.
But I mean, even the old school Seven Samurai and Shogun Assassin, all the Kurosawa stuff is always worth it. I mean, a great movie, Ron by Kurosawa,
gnarly movie.
It was in the 80s. It's I think 3.5 hours long, if I remember. I own it on DVD. I haven't watched that in a while. I should actually pull that out at some point.
No, you get insanity points when you watch that movie, man.
Oh, that was a great movie, though. If you ever get a chance to see it, R-A-N, Ron by Kurosawa.
It's his the King Lear adaptation that he does. Yes,
it is. It's a King Lear version of it. So if you're into Shakespeare and King Lear, it's the Japanese take on it, which is awesome. Here we go. Wolf and Cub, one of the greatest comics to ever come out. That is true as well. The comic Lone Wolf.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Our friend Juno has the whole collection.
Oh yeah, the Frank Miller. Yeah, he turned that stuff on. It's all back in the day.
I got all of my comic book knowledge from Juno, and and because I didn't have to buy it because he bought it, I would just be like, yeah, I'm gonna read it.
Can I borrow
and I was just like, can I borrow this? Like that's how I got Akira. I was like, can I borrow this? Can I borrow this?
Oh man!
And then next thing you know, like his brother would be like, who took the Akira? And I was like, Brian's borrowing it. Here's another one. Shinichi Chiba, the bodyguard. Shinichi Chiba, the bodyguard.
Sonny Chiba, or is that his name? Sonny Chiba.
He has Shinichi. Shinichi Chiba, the bodyguard.
I don't know. I'm not sure if he's talking about Sonny Chiba, the old school like 70s guy that also I think Tarantino also pushes on his distribution. But I don't know who Shinichi is.
He was in Kill Bill.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Hanzo. He was Hanzo the sword maker.
Oh no, Hanzo the sword maker was what do you call it? Gordon Liu. He's
I'm sorry,
master killer. Yeah, he's the master killer from the what do you call it? From the old Shaw Brothers movies and a lot of other stuff like 36 Chambers, and he's in a lot of stuff.
Now you can't bring up martial art movies without talking about the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yo, oh my God, Protector 2, starring Tony Jaa. I was watching it the other day on a cable streaming channel, and who was the bad guy that he was fighting, Brian? But the RZA. I was like,
no,
are you kidding me? I was like, that's the RZA in a suit and a hat. And he's about to do a kung fu showdown in a parking lot, in a parking structure with Tony Jaa.
Speaking of which, have you seen the movie yet called, oh shoot, why am I blanking? It's the guy from Better Call Saul. Nobody. The name of the movie is Nobody.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I want to see that. Yeah,
it's
right.
still right now. When I was down in Mississippi and Alabama at Scott Hoverman's show, my friend Tom rented it at his house. This film called Nobody by the guys who did blah, blah, blah. We just mentioned it, man. The Keanu Reeves movie where he's a killer.
Oh, John Wick. Oh yeah, John Wick.
Same guys who did John Wick did this movie, and awesome, like martial arts and machine guns, and you're just seeing this incredible movie. So if you get a chance to see it, obviously,
I would love to see it.
You can rent it. I think it's still rentable right now. It's still at either $8 or $9 now. I think when we rented it, like the weekend it came out, so we got it at the full price, which was fine because it was worth it. And it put him in such a great. You never would think him as this kind
badass.
of badass kind of thing, and the script and his ability to act, and the woman who plays Hippolyta on the original in the Wonder Woman movie, that actress, she plays his wife in it, and really done. Like
I'd like to see that. Yeah.
yeah, and the bad guys in this are Russians, which they're the new every generation has new bad guys. There was the terrorists in one year. Then remember it when we saw Red Dawn, it was the Cubans and the Chinese, were coming, and the Russians were coming in. Then when they redid Red Dawn, it was the Chinese who were invading. So in this one, it's
down with the Russians, right?
Yeah, so they're doubling down.
They got the communist Russians, and then after the fall of Soviet Union, they got the gangster Russians. After that,
right. There were the Russians who were acting corrupt for the good of the government of Russia, of the Soviet Union. Now they're acting shady for their own,
just
financial
just for
gain.
shits and giggles,
just for their own financial gain. So we'll see. It's fun though. It's a fun watch, and all the actors are incredible, believable in it. And so the reason I bring it up is because I believe it's RZA who's in that as well, who plays one of his counterparts. Let me just double check to make sure it is him, because it ain't Redman. I know Redman, but I'm almost positive it was him.
Yeah, RZA was like producing like really low level like kung fu and martial arts movies for a while. I mean, he also did that. What was he did that Man with the Iron Fists?
Yeah. Yes. Right? So it is RZA. It's funny because on IMDb, his first line of his credits is all music as opposed to actor.
Of course.
So like his music credits, he has 86 credits, but his actor credits, he only has 62 credits. So so
I'm more of a fan of his music credits.
Of course, we all are. Wu-Tang forever. Let's be honest.
Oh, man. I mean,
and you can't help
the soundtrack. Well, what?
You can't help but love the music that almost that when the song comes on and you're hearing dialogue from a karate or martial arts movie, it like this is Wu-Tang. Ain't nobody gonna play that song.
It's true.
And anybody who thinks they can now put some sort of martial arts sound clip from a song, from a movie in their song, they'd be like, "Yo, you're copying Wu-Tang. What are you doing?"
Exactly. They're the first
ones to do own that now. You can never ever think that you can put that in your kind of repertoire ever again.
Yeah, they basically set that hip hop like kung fu movie bridge and then put a toll on it, and everyone's like, "You got to pay me now if you want to come across because we set it up."
So Scott Haverman brings up one of our favorite movies, Bert, that even whenever we get a chance to see, we have to totally watch it. Not really a martial arts film per se, but you can't beat Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, forget about it. Oh no, totally. Are you kidding me? You're like, not really a kung fu movie per se, but oh no, you can't beat that. Big Trouble in Little China. Actually, they've said that the lightning character from the Three Storms was the inspiration for Raiden, right? Exactly.
Exactly.
Boom. Yeah.
Like even the costume with the hat and everything,
so dope.
Just like them.
Yeah. When the Three Storms show up, that's the scene right there, and they're like, what's going on? Yeah.
The shit's over then. Like, forget it. They're taking your girl. You're done. But hey, it's Kurt Russell. He ain't going down like that.
Big Trouble is so awesome.
I think Big Trouble happened after Escape from New York.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think Big Trouble's like 86. And I think Escape, you're right, is earlier than that. It's got to be like probably like 82, maybe even earlier. But yeah, that's a classic. And you know what's awesome about that is that the Jack Burton Kurt Russell character, he's actually the sidekick that doesn't know that he's the sidekick. Like during that whole movie, he's kind of like clueless running through the whole thing, and he's like, what's going on?
He's just there to throw punches and kiss chicks. So Escape from New York was 81. Big Trouble was 86.
Mm-hmm. There it is.
Now his son is a dick as Captain America.
It's that what do they call him? U.S. agent.
Yeah. Now he's a U.S. agent. Right.
Hmm.
It'll be
Yeah,
interesting to see where they take this.
that's true. Yeah, we'll see what happens because they set him up with it, making his own shield and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of psycho, to be honest with you. It's
Yeah,
it's
no, he's
definitely like
definitely a psycho. Yeah.
it's like Bizarro Captain America.
No, you're right. It's like Captain America with super PTSD and no
Yeah.
meds.
And no spoiler alerts. I mean, it's not really a spoiler alert, but when Julia Louis-Dreyfus shows up, I'm like, what? And she's literally almost playing the same character from Veep, which I love Veep. Awesome show. Love
Right.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus in almost everything I see. But for some reason, she popped into this, and it was like the needle going across the record for me. It was like, like,
You were doing
what is she?
the exactly.
Like, okay, she's a great dramatic actress, but she's known for her sarcastic comedies,
Hmm.
and so I'm interested to see where they take about this.
Well, like you said, that's all she did was deliver like sarcastic one-liners, basically.
So here's a good question from the comic book shop owner, Scott Hoverman, 3 Alarm Comics. Go check it out. Are you looking forward to Shang-Chi in the Marvel and what the Marvel Universe is going to do with it?
Oh yeah, I mean, let me tell you, if they can make that half as good as Black Panther, I'll be happy. Okay, because they got a lot of talent in there. They got Simu Liu playing Shang-Chi, and let me tell you, as a kid, I read Shang-Chi growing up. I probably still have some at my mom's house, honestly, and so that was one of my original jams for sure. So they got Tony Leung in it, and they got Michelle Yeoh in it. They got a lot of talent. So let's see what they can do with this. So let's
They had
yeah.
and they got a little comedy with Aquafina thrown in there.
Oh yes, of course, Aquafina's. Yeah, she's getting paid left and right. No, totally.
Yeah.
She is
So it
like
looks good. I think that
she's like a
trailer came out.
live action Mushu. Right?
You're I never now that you've said
Right?
it, I'll never be able to look at her differently anymore now.
Exactly. The same way I think
Wow.
of the same way I think of Bill Murray as a reality Bugs Bunny. I think of
Mhm.
her as yes, live action Mushu.
But I totally look forward to it though.
Yes, no, I
Like,
can't wait for it. They keep pushing it back too.
well, they're trying to get it to they make let's be honest, they make all of their money theatrically. A majority of their money theatrically. So
Oh yes,
if they
absolutely.
can push it now that we've lifted, the federal CDC has said, hey, vaccinated people can get together in mass quantities now. And now it's a matter of places, individual businesses to go, yes, we'll let
Hmm.
you in.
Hmm.
Or B, yeah, we'll let you in, but you have to wear your mask or whatever. They can make their own rules. They're private businesses. So that being said, that's a movie I would wear my mask and go to a theater and
Oh
get
yeah,
my raised
support. Yeah, yeah.
and
Hmm.
totally watch because I think that's totally worth seeing a big screen.
I agree.
Like I
Yeah.
watch, I have a nice 65-inch TV here downstairs and surround sound and stuff, but it still doesn't do what, you're sitting in a giant screen with other people. Cause us, when me and you and all our friends would go see movies in theaters, especially, we were like, whoa,
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
we are, by the way, we are a horrible audience to be
Yes.
in sitting in with. Like we're great.
Yes.
We love it. We're that loud, obnoxious laughers kind of thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We believe
There
in
was
group
a time-
interaction.
yeah. Speaking of one of the funniest times, you were living in Brooklyn. We came to visit,
Hmm.
and Nightmare Before Christmas came out. Do you remember this?
Oh, yes.
So we went to this movie theater down in what's that main shopping center there in Brooklyn?
Oh
The
yeah.
multi.
Right. And yeah. Uh-huh.
We went to that multiplex, and we were able to sneak in a 6-pack of Heinekens, the bottles, obviously.
Yes.
And before that, I believe we had taken some herbal supplement like ginseng or something.
Oh yeah. It was the
But
ginseng era for sure.
when I say herbal supplement, you figure it out. We get there, and we're all giggling. We all carried like 2 bottles in each. And it was the type of theater that had stadium seating. So in other words, the back was higher than the front. So it raked down, as you want to call it in theater terms. And we're watching the movie, and we're having drinks, and we're already kind of buzz that before we even got to the theater, and that opening sequence with the spiral starts happening, that hypnotic spiral, and all of us are like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Next thing you know, we're watching the movie, we're giggling our asses off because we're all drunk watching stupid movie. I mean, it's a great movie, it's not a stupid movie, but and at one point, it's towards the end of the movie, halfway through the movie, someone actually kicked one of their bottles of Heineken. It was empty. And all we heard was, you, rolling down. And we're all laughing because you hear it finally hit and spin the bottle, like, ding, ling, 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 like, when you drop a bottle and it rolls kind of thing. And we were just like,
exactly.
And remember the teenaged, usher coming in with the light, kind of like looking around, like, who's doing this? And we're all like,
oh, man.
And then we left. We were awful. But we enjoyed the movie, and that's one of my memories of seeing Nightmare Before Christmas. Is every time I see that spiral, no matter who I'm with, I'm like, let me tell you the story, and I tell that story, and it's a lot of fun.
That's a good one, man. Oh man,
you remember that? Come on, we were all crazy laughing. I mean, there were times where we would go to Perth Amboy, or South Amboy, technically. South Amboy Multiplex, which anybody who lives in the central Jersey area, it's that theater that's been sinking into the swamps of Sayreville for like decades now.
Right.
After
what is it, like 50 movie theaters in there?
Well, it was 16. It was like one of the largest movie theaters in the country at that time. And now it's just been abandoned like forever. For like a good 20 some odd years it hasn't been used. And so used to see tons of movies there. And we'd always check the listings because, is this a movie that there might be a shooting at? Because there were shootings there all the time. Yes. Like one of the biggest shootings happened, and I kid you not, was Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. Like, it was a huge shooting during that movie screenings in multiple theaters, no less. So that put the end to us going to that theater ever again.
People were serious about Electric Boogaloo.
It was. They were totally Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo. And it was that type of place where we went to see a lot of our movies there.
Oh yes, we'd go in there and sneak into a couple movies at a time. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. We either convinced my dad to take us to the theater, or Uni's, our friend Juno's older brother, would drive us all to the theater there. And then there was the Chuck E. Cheese that was right across the parking lot. Or we went to Woodbridge Mall to watch movies there as well. I mean, I remember when we lived in northern Jersey, the place to go see movies was Paramus Park.
Oh, yes. That was a special night out when we were little.
Right. I mean, that place had the 70 millimeter screen with the prints and everything, like back in the day. Like literally when my family lived in the Bronx, I lived in the Bronx in New York City from when I was born in 69 to when we moved out at the end of 79. So for 10 years, when 1977, when Star Wars came out, we specifically drove into Jersey to drive to that Paramus theater to see Star Wars because we wanted to see the big 70 millimeter print. And so that's where we saw that. And I was just like, wow, this is awesome. And I remember leaving that screening with my brothers and my parents and saying to my two older brothers, I'm like, like my one brother is 6 years older than me and the other brother is 9 years older than me. I'm like, when I'm ready to drive, I'm going to have a land speeder. I am 51 years old. Where the fuck is my land speeder? How long does it take you to get a car just to get 6 inches off the ground, people? Come on.
Right. It's like
I'm looking at you, Elon Musk. I'm looking at you.
Like Chris Rock said years ago, he's like, man, when we thought when we were kids, we thought the future was going to be the Jetsons. Man, it ain't even the Jeffersons.
True. It is totally true. It is not even the Jeffersons yet. Like, technology has jumped in computer power. Absolutely. We've gone incredible ways. I mean, if you look at Boston Dynamics,
where land speeders and the flying cars at? Come on.
Right? Where's the flying car? Right? I have people all the time that send me articles about the flying car because there's a a short film that Kevin Smith wrote with the characters of Dante and Randall that we did for the Jay Leno show about the flying car. Anybody who has the 10-year anniversary or any of the Blu-rays have the flying car short film on it. A very funny discussion about the flying car. But anytime there's any articles about the flying car, I get fans all the time sending me like, hey, man, the flying car might be here sooner than you think.
I mean, it looks like they're having more luck with the jetpack and stuff, isn't it?
True. Yep. There's a lot of jetpacks going on, more so than anything. And
Right.
you know, we're gonna have packages delivered by Amazon by, you know, drone soon enough. But
Yeah,
you know,
no, seriously, yeah.
there is some good balance, you know, cross balance to this in the sense that do you really want some of these knuckleheads that you see on the highway today that far up, where if they screw up there, they're going to hit a whole bunch of people down here? It's going to have to be something where you're all logged into some sort of, you know, main controlled web, whatever that is controlled by an actual, you know, similar situation like, you know, a
like
tower,
Skynet. Like Skynet, exactly.
yeah, like something that's a net for the sky. I got it, Skynet. And then they take over, and then they smash all of us into each other. That would be hilarious.
And
So, yeah,
the robots are taking over. Yeah, no, totally.
So yeah, Jennifer says the same thing I said. Talk to Elon Musk about a land speeder. Exactly.
Right.
Or as Ryan, a flying DeLorean. Ooh, that would be sweet.
Ooh, and you throw in some time travel in there, and then you got a deal.
Well, yeah, you have to have the Mr. Fusion reactor.
That's right.
For you.
But the flux
That's
capacitor.
Flux capacitor, stuff like that. You know, but then you're talking about messing with time, and then you get that you know, party question when you're at someone's house, like, all right, you have a chance to go back in time. What do you do? And then whenever I say that, I go, because they're like, oh, you're going to kill baby Hitler and stuff like that. I'm like, no, I'm going to go back when the first caveman explains things with something that sounds like a religion. I'm going to be like, stop
Exactly. You can hold that.
There's
right
no
there.
religion.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop it. As I'm wearing like a Bassica, you know,
Yeah.
a Bathicat shirt. Just because it seems like, you know, talking religion starts a lot of fights more than it helps. Religion is good for those who use it in the way that it should be, but to use it as a way to bomb other people or to say, hey, my God's a better God than you, that's where I think religion fails the planet. So that's what I would
legitimize a lot of people for sure. Yeah.
I would go back in time and like, stop it. Just stop it right now.
Yeah.
See what happens. We'll see what happens with that. Now I'm going to get all these emails. How dare you? You wear a cross all the time, Brian. You're a Catholic.
Weren't
You've
you an
been
altar
baptized.
boy? Yeah, exactly.
Was award-winning altar boy.
Fun fact.
Fun fact. Award-winning altar boy right here. It's funny because like the beginning of the pandemic, I went to my mother's place to grab a bunch of stuff that has been sitting there forever, like books and stuff. And one whole area was like all these awards that I had won for chorus, acting and stuff. And then also my altar boy awards. And so I grabbed them all. And so I have them in a Rubbermaid tub over here that I still have to start. I should do that. I should make an episode where I pull out all my, this was for my great singing. This is for the fact that I showed up for helping a priest out all the time. And it's funny because I get jokes like, what's an altar boy award? I'm like, no, stop it.
Yes,
don't do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's horrible that's what happens. And
but they don't
tons
give
of money
for that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. They don't give awards for that. They give you prison time.
Yes.
And they don't give it to you. They give it to other people. Someone Scott says they're going to take that award back. Too late. Got it.
Exactly. Can't have it.
That is a great shirt, Brian, isn't it? Isn't that awesome? Love it. So I didn't put together the usual speed round of questions for you. So we're gonna skip on that. Were you prepared for one?
No.
Otherwise,
how the hell am I supposed to prepare for that?
Just saying. But I do want to say that there are some great movies coming out. As we were saying, Marvel superheroes are coming out with Shang-Chi. I look forward to that. And if anybody's ever looking for some great martial art movies, there are tons of them out there. And don't get me wrong, there is tons of bad martial art movies.
Oh yes.
I mean, we didn't touch on Steve. Let's talk. Oh, we can't leave without talking about Steven Seagal.
Oh, okay. We're gonna have it's poo time.
Yeah, let's do it.
Steven
Steven Seagal
movie is legit, but
totally,
that, right? He just goes super crazy.
totally above the law, hands down, his greatest movie ever.
Absolutely, one of his best. That's a good one.
Right. Definitely. The other one where he's going after Jamaican gangs.
Yes.
What?
Oh, which one was that? Marked for Death.
Marked for Death.
With Screwface.
Screwface.
That's right. That's right.
And then there's Hard to Kill.
Hard to Kill, which was hilarious. And then Out for Justice, when he's like the super Italian guy in Brooklyn. That was one of the most hilarious ones. That's the one where he's like, anybody know why Richie killed Bobby Lupo?
And here's the weird flash forward moment. He is now a citizen of Russia.
He's like an ambassador. And
yeah.
You can see him online. You can see him online doing like a Russian, like a Chechnyan folk dance, where it's like legit. Like they're out in this big public circle in like a field. They got like podiums and people talking, and this dancer's out there with a really nice outfit, folk outfit, and she's doing her dance. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Steven Seagal hits the dance floor and he starts doing all this.
CJ Robles goes,
hilarious.
Casey.
Yes.
So CJ Robles goes, Casey freaking Ryback.
That's right. I just watched that, Under Siege. I just watched that the other day. That's a funny one.
Frascetti Photo says, I like the first three Seagal movies. And I would agree. The first three are really good. And then after that, it's like, okay, he's just trying to try to make it, try to recapture the beginnings of it.
Totally.
Thing.
But he's right, though. Out for Justice, bro, there's nothing funnier than him slapping around Richie at the end of that movie and putting the corkscrew in his head and hitting him with a pan. I mean, he hits him with like it's like a cartoon. Everything that he hits him with, like a Tom and Jerry cartoon.
Totally. And in the beginning, like, here is another guy who literally, legitimately knew that martial art. He was able to take people and use Aikido and throw it, use their weight against them and stuff like that. And people were like, holy shit, this guy's legit. And the scripts were pretty good, especially the first three movies. But then when he just started to get really weird.
Yeah, he lost his mind, basically, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like Glimmer Man and stuff with the
and then he hooked up with Kelly LeBrock.
Oh yeah.
And that was a bit of a rocky relationship from what you read in the tabloids and stuff like that.
Did you see that show that he had when he was like a sheriff in like Louisiana or something for a while?
Yeah.
Or Missouri or whatever? That was crazy.
Yeah, he legitimately had the power invested in him to be a sheriff, where he would lead a camera crew of other sheriffs to, like, people who were out on warrants and stuff like that. Like, he wasn't patrolling, like catching people in the act. He was just going it was pretty much Dog the Bounty Hunter kind of thing.
Yeah, it was exactly. It was Steven Seagal, overweight martial artist bounty hunter, basically.
Sarah Jane says they were just talking about Out for Justice on 30-20-10 podcast. I think it's like 30 years old now. Yeah, I think it is, but it's still worth a watch.
That's hilarious. That's one of the funniest ones, bro. And there's apparently there was a bunch of mob money involved in producing that movie, right? So there's all these really hilarious stories about his interaction with them, and like, and Steven Seagal like refusing to sit in the front seat of a car with some guy because he's afraid he's going to get shot in the head. Hey, honey. Yeah, it's really funny. And the mob guy's on tape, and he's going, and this guy's 6'4". He's going to sit in the back of the car.
It's a shame that he went a little nutty because and the scripts, to be honest with you, that he was picking to do was just not the greatest anymore. I think if he had calmed down and let his ego not interfere with things, I think he would have been really, really. He could have had a long career in the sense of even being the wizened teacher of others. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like the Sarge been through a lot of, I've been through a lot of shit, man. You know that kind
totally. But you're right. If he didn't lose his mind, yeah.
If it wasn't for intellectual property rights and licensing, it would be funny to just have had one of these movies playing and having a live stream of us watching it.
Man,
because
dude,
those are always the fun times.
Or just a montage of we could just have a montage of Steven Seagal running like a girl.
Oh my God, he did.
He does the whole thing where he shuffles his
kind
hands.
of run. It's like,
really funny.
Someone asks, Scott goes, he should have been on Cobra Kai as a villain. Yeah, why not?
So perfect, dude. That would have been. Oh my God, hello.
Right? Or one of these dads. Nuts.
Right. I'm surprised. Was he in the Expendables? He wasn't in the Expendables, right? Seagal. Seagal got together like everybody who's ever thought about being in an action movie was basically in that movie.
Right. Yeah, I don't think he was.
Van Damme was.
Yeah, Van Damme was.
Van Damme.
What do you think? Now that you brought him up, what do you think of Van Damme?
Oh, I was just about to say. I think he deserves the moniker "Coke Bimbo of martial arts movies."
Allegedly. I don't need to have him kicking down my door. What did your friend say to me? No. It ain't like that.
No, he lost his mind too.
Yeah, I've when I went to the Cannes Film Festival, I've been to it twice. He's been there. He's there all the time. And I was at a party on one of the boats there, and he was there.
Did I just tell your friendship?
No, not at all. And he was full of himself.
Oh yeah.
He was definitely, full of him.
That's now.
As he should.
That's like
and that's now. You're right. We're talking 2005 I was there in 2003 and then again in 2005. And I remember, there was even kind of a thing where he was at a Comic-Con and Jason David Frank, the guy who was in the Power Rangers, who then had an MMA career, they had given him a dressing room, but it was supposed to be Jason David Frank's dressing room, not Jean-Claude Van Damme. And they had kind of like, hey man, good to see you, but you're in my green room. You gotta step out. And like apparently the Jean-Claude people got all a little upset about it. And then Jean-Claude himself, and there was kind of a bit of like a tussle from what I've heard and some phone video that I've seen, very shaky phone video, but it is.
Did it look staged?
No, it didn't look staged, but it didn't look like it was gonna go anywhere. Like,
right.
And to be honest with you, there's probably a 15 or 20-year difference between Jason David Frank.
He's got to be in his 60s now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we'll see. But yeah, kickboxer. Like there was never any blood sport. There was never any movie that I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I know exactly.
He was awesome. Like, I would like, okay, the guy is flexible as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. He can put his one leg over here, his other leg way the fuck up here. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Because his move was always that same kicking kind of move. But that's just me.
No, totally. No, it's always with the right leg. And he didn't really have that much skill.
I can't do the move, but all the more power to him.
Hey, let me tell you, Brian, if it was your movie, you would be kicking everybody's ass too.
I gotta get the guys who made that movie Nobody. To be honest with you, because
that team is excellent. Yeah,
totally. Because if they can make Bob Odenkirk look like a badass, give me a couple of weeks or month training just to get some tightness to me. But otherwise,
they made Charlize Theron look like a badass in Atomic Blonde.
You know what, though? I believe Charlize is a badass because even the way she handles herself.
She's a savage.
Yeah, in Mad Max, she handled herself as well. So I wouldn't put it past any girl from South Africa. I'd be like, don't be fucking with her.
I think she broke her back in Aeon when they filmed Aeon Flux or something like that. Like something really gnarly happened to her, I think, when they filmed that.
I never saw that movie, so I got to see that.
Yeah.
That one and Ghost in the Shell. I never saw that with.
I watched like 10 minutes of that of the live action and I just couldn't do it, man. It was so bad, bro.
Really?
Especially when you're used to. I mean, the anime Ghost in the Shell is a classic. Anime
Right.
Ghost in the Shell and Akira are like to anime what like Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen are like to comic books, right? I mean, it's like those are like the big seminal works that everyone is going to refer to, and it's just, I mean, I get it. It's hard to pull off, but
Yeah.
the Ghost in the Shell with the whitewashing and all the changing and the race bend. I mean, come on, Scarlett Johansson's playing Major Motoko. I mean, come on, bro. You know, they just call the Major. Like, we're just going to call her the Major.
Just to cleanse your mind of that Ghost in the Shell. Here you go. Let's go back to. There we go. Much
hilarious.
better. There we go. Yeah. Speaking of which, Bolo, one of the best characters from Scott had put this as well. Best character from Kickboxer was Bolo in Bloodsport.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Bolo, come on. Everyone loves Bolo. Everyone remember Bolo. One of the most jacked Asian dudes from the back in the day era. You know?
Yep. And apparently in real life, one of the nicest guys ever, but always got the part as bad guys.
Yes, yes. Yeah, he lives out here. He lives in San Gabriel Valley out here. It's funny. I know I used to be friends with someone who's friends with his son. And his son, as you can imagine, his son's name is David, and he's like a bodybuilder also. And he's yoked. Exactly. But yeah.
So
yeah,
just bodybuilding or as martial arts, David?
What's that? No, just bodybuilding. Yeah.
Just bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sweet. Well, brother, it's so good to talk to you, especially on this topic, which we both love so much.
We probably about 30% of our film watching history.
Totally. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we were talking to Mr. Bertrand Wang, martial arts movie aficionado, but he also can back it up with his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu belt over there in LA. Thank you again for coming on, sir. I will talk to you again very shortly. Give my best to your lovely wife and your lovely daughter, who's starting to become a martial arts prodigy herself.
Thank you. Yes, absolutely.
It's good to have backup.
Absolutely.
Like someone wearing a Hello Kitty mask and hoodie and having a little terrier dog can drop it all and be like choke someone out on a snap of the finger. That's a good thing to have in the family.
Right? Absolutely. You can never use back as I'm getting older. But yeah, thank you for having me, Brian. It's always a pleasure. It's always so much fun.
Not at all.
Always fun hanging out with my old friend. Absolutely.
Yes, talking about stuff that we all enjoy and love. Brother, I will talk to you soon. Everybody give a big round of applause for Mr. Bertrand Wang.
Woo. Thanks, guys. Peace out, everybody.
We'll see you. Man, that hour went quick, as it always does. Well, listen, folks, I want to thank you guys so much for spending your Friday evening with me and my good friend, Mr. Bertrand Wang. Thank you to Mr. Frischetti Photo for joining us. CJ Robles, thank you so much. Ryan Carryware, thank you so much. Mr. Scott Hoverman over there at 3 Alarm Comics. And once again, thank you, Gem Girl 1975, Sarah Jane. Who else do we got here? Mr. David Madison. Thank you so much. Jennifer Laybourne, thank you so much for sticking around. Mad Brothers Media, thank you so much. I'm an extra large when we get to talk. That's how I roll. Who else do we have on the thing? Amy over there at, there we go. Rated Rob, good to see you as well. Joe Ridgely, thank you, man, for joining this evening. For those who want to see, on Sunday nights, 10 o'clock, I believe it's 10 o'clock, End of the Night with David Lee Madison, co-hosted by Scott Schiaffo. If you get a chance, check that out on Facebook and on YouTube and on Twitch. Thank you, Dan Bashai, for stopping by as well. Christopher Hewitt, as always, sir, you're one of the many fans who continue to watch episode after episode after episode. If you want to follow along please find the show at these locations: Facebook, The O'HalloRANT; YouTube, The O'HalloRANT; Twitch, Brian C. O'HalloRANT; Twitter, The O'HalloRANT; Instagram, The O'HalloRANT as well. If you wish to follow my personal... Where is it? Here we go. My personal social media. There we go. Facebook, The Brian C. O'HalloRANT; YouTube, The O'HalloRANT; Twitch TV, Brian C. O'HalloRANT; Twitter and Instagram, Brian C. O'HalloRANT. Please click, follow, like. I would appreciate that so much. Guys, please, as we're all getting our vaccines, if you haven't, please go get your vaccines. If you have people who are hesitant around you, tell them your experience. Tell them that you had no side effects, or if you do, mild, whatever it is, let people know. Answer their questions. Give them the information. The more we're all vaccinated, the more herd immunity can get us back into seeing each other. Just announced just yesterday, myself and Jeff Anderson will be at Colorado Springs Comic-Con, and that'll be towards the end of August. I believe it's like August 27th through the 29th, if I remember correctly. You can go to CS, as in Colorado Springs, cscomiccon.com for your tickets. That'll be in August. We will have just wrapped up, just literally 2 weeks prior, Clerks 3, which we're hoping to start filming right after July 4th. So we'll be fresh off of the set of that, going to Colorado Springs with other shows to follow as well. So check that out. You can find out more on my social media. I'll be posting more about it. And then we'll be getting back to Comic-Cons and stuff. So it'll be a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. I always enjoy hanging out with you guys. Yes, I will be back next week and as well. Actually, it'll be a remote. I'm going to be working on another project this coming weekend. So Friday night might be an abbreviated remote show, so to speak. Or I may not have one at all. I will definitely this time post on my Facebook, my Twitter, and my Instagram posts about next week's show. But thank you guys for taking the time tonight. I always appreciate you guys being here. Really, really, really love having you here. And by all means, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Play it safe. Wash your hands. Wear your mask. Socially distance. If you can, get yourself vaccinated. And then if you have friends who are vaccinated like yourself, get together. Enjoy. If you're going to have good weather in your area, take advantage of it. Until then, we'll see you then. Peace.
Yeah.